Hello, today we're going to be looking at slope-intercept form of a line. So the slope-intercept form of a line is just the way we write the equation of a line. And there's different formats, but the one we're going to focus on is slope-intercept form. It gets its name because by looking at this equation right here, we can easily tell what our slope and our y-intercept are. So in this equation here, m, as usual, is our slope. We're used to seeing m for slope, so that's not a big deal. And b, the number at the end of the equation, is our y-intercept. That's something we haven't talked about a ton yet. The y-intercept is just where a graph crosses the y-axis. So if you're looking at a graph, a little crooked, but you get the idea. If I have a line that's going to cross the y-axis somewhere, wherever that location is on the y-axis, that is our b, or our y-intercept. X and y are going to stay x and y when you write your equation. Today, you're just be filling in the slope number in the m spot and the y-intercept number in the b spot. X is called the independent variable because whatever number we plug in for x makes a certain value for y. The y value depends on that independent x variable. We're going to do two basic things today. We are going to be writing slope-intercept form equations, and we're going to be graphing those equations. On your homework, you'll still be writing the equations, but instead of graphing by hand, because that's kind of gross to do in Canvas, you are instead going to be finding the correct graph that matches the description. Let's go ahead and try this out. So I'm going to start with writing our equation. We know our equations look like y equals something x plus something. So I'm going to kind of fill in the stuff, the x and the y, where they go. They say in this first equation that m is -2. So -2 goes in the m spot, which is in front of x. And that our y-intercept is 4. That number that's our y-intercept is our b number. So I'm going to put a +4 at the end of the equation. To graph this, we start by actually using our y-intercept. +4 means it's going to cross the y-axis at +4. So I'm going to put a point there at 0, 4. From there, we use our slope to extend our line all the way across the graph. Anytime you're dealing with an integer number like 1, 2, -1, whatever, it's easier if we turn that into a fraction because we're used to the slope being rise over run. So -2 is the same as -2/1. Thinking back to when we've talked about slope before, that means we are going down 2 and to the right 1 to get to the next point on our graph. So from my y-intercept point down to right 1, and repeat that pattern as many times as you can. If we want our line to go in the other direction, we do the opposite of both. So instead of down, we go up 2. Instead of right, we go left 1. And that gives us one lovely line. Once you've made as many dots as you can, often we can't make that many, connect with a straight line and arrows on the end. That finishes off this first problem. Let's try another one. So again, I'm going to kind of pre-fill my equation, and I know it's going to start with y equals, I know there's going to be an x in it. What goes where? M is 2/3, so 2/3 goes in front of x. The slope number goes in front of x. And then my y-intercept, or b, is -2. I could do plus -2, but that's kind of redundant. I'm just going to write -2 instead. I would still count plus -2 as correct, though. Now let's graph it. Starting with our y-intercept. -2 is our y-intercept, so I'm going to go to -2 on my y-axis, put a point. This time my slope is positive, so I'm going up the top number to the right the bottom number. So from my y-intercept up to right 3, continue that as many times as you can. Out of room, let's make it go the other direction. Down to left 3, opposite of what you did for both. And now we have a lovely line. Once we connect, and then put arrows on the end because lines do extend forever and ever. All right, a couple more. I'm going to kind of start my equations out here. We know by equals something x plus something. For this next one, my slope is 3. And so my equation with y equals 3x. And then my y-intercept is -1, so -1. To make my graph, let's start with the y-intercept, which is -1. So I'm going to go to -1 on my y-axis, put a point. Since my slope is 3, that's the same as 3/1. It's a positive slope, so I'm going to go up 3 and to the right 1. from that blue point. So up 3, right 1. Do that as many times as you can. And then to make it go the other direction, do the opposite of both. Down 3, left 1. Like so. Once you have as many points as you can fit, connect with a line, arrows on both ends. Last one, same idea. My y-intercept is 3, so there'll be a plus 3 at the end of my equation. My slope is -1/2, and that goes in front of x. So my equation looks like -1/2 x plus 3. To put this on my graph, start with my y-intercept, which is +3. So put a point on +3 on the y-axis. Slope is -1/2, so I'm going to go down 1, right 2. So from that y-intercept point, down 1, right 2, and then continue that pattern as many times as you can. Go up 1, left 2 to extend your line in the opposite direction, and then connect as best as you can. Mine's a little crooked, but you get the idea. And there's our line. You'll also see a few word problems. On these word problems, you don't need to make a graph. All you need to do is write an equation. Equations are still going to be slope-intercept form. You just have to interpret what's going on to figure out what goes where. So you purchase a car for $6,000 and the value decreases by $300 per year. Write a slope-intercept form equation to model the value of your car after X years. So we know our answer is going to look like y equals mx plus b. Just like up top, we're going to put our slope in the m spot. We're going to put our b or y-intercept in the b spot. So they don't use the word slope or y-intercept though. Your y-intercept is your starting value. And so what was the starting value of our car? We purchased the car for $6,000, so that is going to be our B. Our starting value of our car is $6,000, so B is $6,000. Our M is also in the problem as well. Anytime you see per, so like per year, per day, per whatever, that is going to be talking about whatever's happening with X. And so then the number near that is what your slope is, because slope is getting multiplied by X. What do they say here? They say that the value of the car is decreasing. Decreasing means going down. So decreasing by $300 per year means the value of the car is going down or minus $300 each year. So my M is going to be -$300. I now have an M, I now have a B, so I can write my equation. So my final answer equation for this problem is going to look like y equals my slope, which is that per year value, -$300, variable x, as always. And then my starting value was positive $6,000, so plus 6,000. We don't need to do anything else because all they wanted us to do is write a slope-intercept form equation. That is it for today. Hopefully now you're feeling super comfortable with slope-intercept form. Have a wonderful day.